Charlotte, North Carolina, USA.
Okay. Seattle, Washington.
Okay,
From the UK, Marius Johnson.
Hello, Shamsa. Okay, we've got so many people here. UK, Nigeria, South Africa.
Anas from Nigeria.
Nigeria. Bill from Texas.
Yes, Nigeria.
Texas, Bill from Texas. Yeah, thank you.
From Mexico.
Oh, Mexico.
Stephenville, Texas.
Awesome, Stephen.
Missouri.
Germany.
Shout out from Nigeria.
Okay, awesome. We've got Lagos, Germany, France.
Storm from South Africa.
Awesome, Storm.
Sydney.
Sweden.
Excellent.
Central Kentucky.
Costa Rica. Nigeria.
Indonesia.
Victoria, Texas.
Abuja.
Abuja, awesome guys.
Spetch.
Abuja.
Morning, Marius.
Concrete.
And I've just
Good
heard
evening,
Alex
Marius.
there. Good day, Alex.
Yeah.
We are just waiting for a few more people to come on. We've just got some people around the world just struggling to get on. So we're just waiting for a few people. So it looks to me there's a lot of people from Abuja and then many people from America here and a lot of people from South Africa. Was that you, Vaughan?
Some from New Zealand.
And New Zealand, yeah.
And Australia.
Yeah, awesome.
And Ireland.
Awesome, Ireland. Okay, guys, let me share my screen and we are going to be away. Let's have a look and see what Bitcoin is doing. So as usual, Tertius, we're just going to get you to ask or just to monitor the questions at the end. You, Bill, and Wendy. So we're quickly going to go through Bitcoin and there is a few coins that we are going to go through. I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of coins here because it's very important that you need to understand where Bitcoin is at the moment. Rightio, guys, let's have a look at Bitcoin here, where Bitcoin is at this very moment. Welcome to you for, this is the International Bitcoin Weekly Webinar of 25 June 2020. As you can see here from the bottom, just for all the new people that came on, I see that there's so many new subscribers here and welcome to all of you. We hope we add some value to you and that we can really help you to understand what Bitcoin is doing as we move from Bitcoin where it is now all the way up to 89,000, our first target. Now remember, Bitcoin won't get there next week. It's not going to get there in 2 weeks from now. To get to that level, there's going to be ups and downs. Like what you see here from the bottom, when we recommended that we get back into Bitcoin, Bitcoin went up and it went to this high point here of 10,400. It's gone downwards here. We expected Bitcoin to have one more move up, but we are now seeing that Bitcoin is going to drop. And this is what we do. We do algorithmic analysis. We keep an eye on the world stock markets. We see when trends change. We see when there is a suppression in price. And right now, I believe that what myself, my team uncovered here is something that could potentially save you a lot of money. Remember when we hit this target here, that first target there on 8 May, 7-8 May, that was a very crucial time there. In all our reports, I said start trading with caution, with extreme caution. And there were multiple drops here. We called this drop here. There's some drops that we couldn't see where the market simply just dropped faster or quicker or more unexpected than what we thought. Like, for example, this high point and this drop shouldn't have been there.
Can't see her.
You're not sharing your screen.
Lost your screen, Marius. No screen share.
Okay, let me share again there. Stop screen share and share again. Yeah, there is something weird going on with Zoom. Can you see it now, Bill?
Now we've got it. Now we got you. Yeah.
Okay, rightio, guys. Let's start again. From this bottom point here, and Bill, just let me know if my screen disappears again. From the bottom here of Bitcoin on the bottom, the market went straight up. We got to the stop here of 10.4. We went sideways. And at this point here, somewhere here, we said that we are going to break upwards. And we still are going to hit higher numbers here. But note here that I've moved this target here. See this inverted head and shoulders? There's going to be a second inverted head and shoulders, according to our data. Now, for those new people that came on, we find the trend a little bit in advance. So it's kind of having like a little window into the future. The way that we find this is through algorithmic analysis. If I give you the number 2, 4, and 8, and I ask you what is the next number, then automatically you are going to tell me that is number 16. It's called an algorithm. After 16, you get 32 because you've pre-identified the previous trend. In a similar fashion, what we can do, we can have a look at previous trends way back 10 years ago, and we can go and find this trend in a mathematical fashion and then come and predict what the future will be. Now remember guys, when we predict, it doesn't mean that we are going to be 100% correct. But what we are doing is to give you a guideline. And so far, this guideline is just incredible correct. Now, we don't claim that we are always 100% correct. Use our data as a guideline to do your own research. We've got the training videos, training courses. You can go through that. We can teach you technical analysis. Once you understand this and you understand what we produce here, then you get a glimpse into the future and you can trade with confidence. The worst thing that you want to do is to buy a coin like Bitcoin and you don't know what the coin is going to do. So let's quickly recap where we are at the moment. Remember here where we went upwards here, we got to this high point here. That high point is about 10,400. We thought that we're going to hit about 10.3 and we laddered out. We laddered out at 10,030, 10,386.
Marius?
Yeah, I'm there. Our next targets should have been approximately about 10,700 and up to about 10.9, up to 11,000. With this blue line here, which you probably can't see, let me just make that a little bit more darker here. I'm just going to make that a nice dark line. With that black line there being a mathematical resistance line. Since I believe that we are not going to spike upwards here, there's an extra play, an extra pattern that is being put in. And remember, those of you that have come now with us for about 4 or 5 years, remember I said that when they play Bitcoin, it's very easy for them to take it sideways. That's what we call time expansion. And then while they do that, they go and put extra patterns. Believe it or not, guys, they go and put extra patterns in between. Because Bitcoin has been slowed down at this very moment. There's a whole big reason behind it, and I'm not going to get into political things about it, but most of you know what I mean. But what is going to happen here, and I'm just going to give you a big view picture here. I believe, and I'm going to just darken this as well. I didn't really want to show this, but somebody said to me yesterday, they said, no, listen, you need to show people the play. And let me just click on that. I think that one. Now, can you see here, I'm only showing you the first segment. We are going to drop here, according to our data, very big probability that we are going to drop into this blue line here. Then once we get there, there's a big probability, guys, that we are going to drop a little bit further, come back up and drop again to 5,800. Then what happens is we start moving upwards here, a very aggressive move up there, and then we form another inverted head and shoulders. I'm only giving you this as a visual because it's very nice to have a view in the future. I want you to focus on this blue line because this drop could happen at any time. As I said in the report of yesterday, between 3 and 7 days, but it could be earlier as well. So pay very close attention to what I'm going to show you here now, because this could save you a hell of a lot of money. I reckon that it's, and I don't want to give financial advice. I want to make it very clear here, guys. Don't take this snippet and say where I say, I recommend you sell, or I say sell, and then you cut out certain words and you put it on when our legal team sees it, we're going to contact YouTube and take it off. It's not fair that you do that. So let's quickly have a look and see where we are at this moment. You can see here that this green candle on the daily, I believe that we are going to go sideways here over this weekend, and come Monday, Tuesday, we're going to have a nice big pump in Bitcoin up to this number, that number 5. And right at that point, that is your highest point. Our analysts have identified that the highest point that we could go is 9620. In my opinion, I would say about 96. Now, just listen to what I said now, guys. 96, our analyst, 9620, a $20 difference. If it's $100 difference, you know, don't worry about it. You know, when this red candle started dropping here, I can't tell you how many emails I had where people said Bitcoin is crashing. And for me personally, I didn't even really see that, because remember, guys, we trade long term. Long term. If you're a day trader, it's different. But look at that drop there. You know, it's not even much. You drop from about 9,580 to about 9,3. It's a $200, $300 drop in Bitcoin, guys. You can't get worried about that. If you look at what I've got on my screen here, you look at basically like a bullish pennant forming here. And I'm going to get into some technical data. And remember, I don't really do technical analysis. I use it in my reports to show you every weekend what we see. But behind the scenes, there's a lot of algorithm data going on. But from a technical perspective, if you look at this, there's your leg 1, there's your leg 2 right there. Leg 3 is there. Leg 4 down there. And then the last leg is leg number 5. Now, here is the warning. Normally what happens here with a bullish pennant is that the market does this and then breaks out. I believe that what's going to happen here is that it's going to come and catch us out. And that's why I want you to be very cautious here. Here is how you are going to play the market. Very easy to figure out. Once we get here to an uptrend here to round about 9596, if Bitcoin comes here to this high point here, now remember, I said in the report that our analysts have sold between 30 and 60 or 70% of the entire portfolios. Once we get to that point there and Bitcoin starts turning around, and it comes here, if you see that drop here below this line here, it's going to drop further. If it comes here and it breaks out here and it goes above 9.7, it could potentially go a little bit higher. Now, I will only enter into Bitcoin. Very important that you understand this. If Bitcoin goes here above 10,000, that is the only time that I will enter Bitcoin, because it could do this and then move up. So it's very easy to figure it out. And I placed it in the report if you read that carefully. We will only enter Bitcoin when Bitcoin goes above 10,000. I believe that Wall Street is busy fiddling with Bitcoin. The way that we can see it, and I'm going to give you a little glimpse. I don't want to give all our information away. If I look at the world stock markets, which is the Dow Jones, S&P, and some other things that we look at, I can see that people like Warren Buffett specifically has already made trades. They've placed orders at lower levels. Why would these billionaires go on the world stock markets and place orders at lower levels? So our algorithm data sees that. And then it predicts, if all these smart people in the world who's got billions of dollars go and place orders in the world stock markets for a little bit lower prices, then it means that they plan to bring the market down. What they will do, they will bring the markets down. They control the markets. They can do whatever they want. What we do, we find that in advance and we come and show you this is potential what can happen. Let me quickly get here into the Dow Jones and I'm going to show you what I see in the Dow. What I believe is going to happen here is that we are going to have a little bit of a sideways move here next week, maybe sideways downwards with maybe a bit of a spike up, a spike here, a spike down. But then we are going to come here to a certain point where this market is going to drop. It's going to come up here and drop again. Our data shows that we come round about here to this $22,000 level, round about there, more or less. Now, the reason I say more or less, and many people say to me, but why can't you figure it out 100%? The reason is because when we look at the stocks that these people place the orders on, and you have to have a very sophisticated level of data to be able to see that. When we see what they place, for example, Amazon on and some other stocks, we can work out what the percentage drop is, and then the average will show us that it comes down to this level of 21, 22. It could go a little bit lower, and it's not the end of the world, but the thing is this: look at the trend. We believe there's going to be a downtrend, sideways, another downtrend, consolidation, then upwards. We could break that level, go a little bit higher, and then it's going to come down and crash like a big rock. So the big drop, in my opinion, remember we've been talking about the drop, I believe they're going to delay the big drop closer to the American election. And recall, Bill, remember what I said 2 or 3 weeks ago in a webinar. I said that if I was the opposition party for the president of the USA, what I would do, I would delay the drop. Remember it very clearly, guys. I said I would delay the drop, then take it a little bit up so that we get really excited. The economy is moving really well. Ride it up there. And before the American election, drop it like a rock. Now, let's not be too confident. Let's go back and have a look at Bitcoin. You've seen that in the previous report number 205, I said very clearly that once we get to this point here and the Bollinger Band starts moving upwards, then we could see the green line move parallel upwards. Can you see the divergence here? And then in that report, I said, look for Bitcoin to break the green line up and break the brown line up. But if that green line, the green candle, if the green candle turns red and it comes back below the brown line and then below the green line, that is a sign that we need to be cautious and potentially get out of the market. And this is exactly what happened here. I believe that this brown line, which is the 20 MA, or you can go and put the Bollinger Band on. Remember, guys, what I do, I just, for the sake to make it very easy, many people don't understand what a 20 moving average is. Many people don't understand what a 50 moving average is. But to make it easy, you can go to indicators here and you can go and search for your indicator. If you go and search for Bollinger Band, very easy to do. You can actually go and search for the 20 MA2. I just like to use the Bollinger Band because I like to use these, the outward, the higher levels and the lower levels. That is kind of like a band where Bitcoin will stay in unless it then breaks out. And you can see this band will carry on. And at one point, I believe that we could break downwards here. So the Bollinger Band is something that you can put on. I'm going to take this off. And for the sake of making it very easy to everybody, I use a brown and a green line. Of course, you can go and use whatever you want and you can go and change these colors. But for us going forward, I will just use the Bollinger Band and the green line. For you to get additional training, go in the back office, do the training. People that do the training, I tell you what, they come back and the ears are buzzing. They all say, I wish I knew this data a year ago. I wish I knew it last month. Guys, it's groundbreaking data. The videos that these guys have made are incredible. The training that you'll get is just really incredible. What I'm expecting here is that this brown line, if I log in there, and remember I'm now on the day chart, is that this brown line is going to turn downwards. When it eventually turns downwards, let's say around about here, you want to be out of the market at that point because it's a lagging indicator. The drop will happen before turns, but you can see here that the brown line now, let me just delete this here. It's a little bit confusing there. You can see that brown line is supposed to go downwards and turn. Now, here is what you do. When you're on the daily chart, keep an eye on that brown line. If this brown line turns upwards and this green line turns upwards without crossing the brown line, then it looks positive for Bitcoin. Anything else turning down looks negative. But my data now shows that we are going to go downwards. Be very careful as you trade here. And as I said here, let me go and put this on, I'll put it on the 6 hour. this is what it looks like on the 6 hour. So we're going to go upwards here, downwards here over the weekend, come here, probably around about here, maybe on Monday, which is Monday. Monday is 28. Sunday, Monday. We are going to have one last move. This move here, the next move, is the move that you need to take care of and be very careful. What could happen here is simply a small mini bullish pennant, meaning that if you go down here on the corner, and you'll get trained all these things in TradingView, go to, I'm just going to take Elliott Wave Impulse, not really the right thing, but I just want to show you just the 5 waves. That could go 1, 2, a drop, 3, 4, 5, and then a spike upwards there. Okay, so if I draw that, something like that, it narrows down, breaks out. Here is where you need to be careful. I believe that according to our algorithm data, I believe that it's going to break just above that black line. Guess what, guys? That's where everybody buys. You don't buy there. I believe it's going to come down here and then ultimately just drop. So here is what you do. At around about 9.6, I can't give you financial advice, but I am going to sell if I have some other coins. 9.5, 9.6 in a little bit of a band. You know, I'm going to give myself room. 9.4550, 9.6 if you own Bitcoin. But at that same point, you need to have a look and see where the other cryptos are that you invest in. Like I, for example, invest in Dash. I want to get out of Dash at that point. I want to get out of Litecoin at that point when Bitcoin is at that level. Now, what can happen here is that it can come down, drop here, and then go up. If it goes up, you don't panic. You just don't panic. You sit there, you watch, you drink your coffee. It could go higher. If that happens, that is where I will enter, above 10,000. Because it must break this high here. See that high point there of 10,0030? If it doesn't break that high point, I am going to protect my capital. And that is how you play this market. You know, somebody sent me a very nice email, actually. What he said is, he said, why would I risk my portfolio if the upside is only going to be at about 11,000 and then drop? And it actually made very good sense. Remember this, guys. Why do you want to risk your capital? I've always said there's a number of trades that you can do. You can decide to buy Bitcoin now. You can buy Litecoin. But there's another trade that you can do where you will make more money. That is called no trade at all.
Mm-hmm.
No trade at all, guys. That's called confidence. Why do you want to take every single trade? You know, just be very careful. This is why our analysts are out of the market up to 70%. And I think probably by today more. Because as Bitcoin now moves up, they're getting rid of Bitcoin and crypto slowly. And you can see here, I've just shown you now that we could come down, go up, sideways maybe over the weekend. And I haven't got a timeline for you. I believe this could happen next week, Thursday, between 3 and 7 days. But literally, guys, we are playing with fire. This market can dump at any time. If you see the next uptrend here and we hit this target here earlier, let's say by tomorrow, for example, if we go up here now and we hit this by the end of this webinar tomorrow morning, and it then comes down, that is going to be your high point. Go and draw yourself a line from that top there. Make sure it doesn't touch this, and you can touch that one. That is okay. As a matter of fact, our algorithm data shows that this line doesn't touch that one as well. And can you see why? See this one here? It hits there. It's just an interesting algorithm point here. You've got a bit of a gap here, and then it drops. If you want to get technical. But guys, make things uncomplicated. So if you look at this impulse wave that we had here, you know, you look at about, depending on where you're going to put this now, but that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In terms of just where we are now. But more important, if you look at this here, I'm just going to make this a little bit thicker. There's your A, B, I believe that we're going to come down to this level here, and then we can have a bit of an uptrend. But this is where everybody, Bill, is going to think that we're now going to shoot upwards here, because that will go up to 29. You know, it could even break this all-time high. I doubt if it's going to do this. Okay, but it's going to go up, and you're going to hear President Trump say the economy is roaring, and he's going to do all these rallies around the country. I told you so. And then what's going to happen is the second wave of COVID. And remember, guys, I said something worse than Black Lives Matter, worse than all these things that are going on now is going to happen in America. I don't know what it is, but they're going to rally it up now and come here somewhere, something terrible. Whether it's a second wave of COVID, I don't know, but they're going to drop this just before the American election. And then after the American election, I don't want to get into details here too quick. You're going to see a bounce here, upwards, a bounce, upwards, and this thing is going to go to 60,000 Dow. So whatever they're going to do here is going to be short term. But anyway, I don't want to get into that too much, you know, and too far in advance, you know, because our data can see things in advance, but there's a lot of variables that we need to think about this now, guys. You know, if you think that you can predict the future these days, I mean, it's complicated because there are so many subjective facets to this. One of them is emotions of people. You can't predict the emotions of people. It's a subjective matter. I don't know what you're thinking. But if I see something that somebody has placed the order, and I see this is linked to Warren Buffett, and I see that he's going to buy Amazon at a low price, that's called objective facts. Now, remember, in our data, we use 36 different indicators to work out where the algorithm is going to go. And some of them, I believe 8 of them is actually subjective, where we try and analyze that. It can't be 100% correct, but if I am correct with this call, I can save a lot of people a lot of money here, Bill. You know, all I'm saying, guys, is that, look, be careful here. And I'm sad to say that we are going to have a drop here, but it's better that I warn you than to tell you that, look, we're going to go and break out and we're going to go to 11,000 and then suddenly we go and break downwards. I've always said from here, guys, from here, 7 May, I said, be cautious, trade cautious. They could have dropped this market long ago, and we've been looking at it. We've been seeing it, but I just wasn't convinced, and I didn't see it in the data, but now we're starting to see it. Last week, we were here. Remember when the market started dropping somewhere here? What did I say? I said that on the 21st of June, Bitcoin is going to come against the wall. On the 21st of June, Bitcoin must move up. Now, what has happened here? There we go. There's the 21st. It came against the wall. And remember that I pointed back to 18 January. Where was that year? 18 December. Yeah, and I said the same thing that happened here, right there, is the same that's happening now. Remember I said here a wall, and I said Bitcoin can't go further. It's a mathematical wall. Guys, 3 plus 3 is 6. 6 plus 6 is 12. The same with the algorithm. It comes to a wall. You can't go further. So you can't, what I meant is you can't go sideways. It must break up. In this case, it had to break down. It had to break upwards because it was down. Now, in this case, what happened here is Bitcoin actually gives it away. It's already told us what it's going to do. Look what happened here. It broke up, and we were looking at our indicators. See there, that green candle? It broke up. And then I said, if it comes down and it breaks that thing there, that's our indicator. We're going to get out. It's shown us. So this is the greatest gift, actually, that we can have. If I'm correct here, and we're not saying we're 100%, but I'm just saying, guys, pay close attention here. That could be the high point. Okay, enough about that. Let's quickly go, and we've discussed the Dow Jones. As a matter of fact, I may just quickly go and have a look at the long-term trade for Bitcoin. If you look at Bitcoin here from the year 2013, it started at 0 cents and it went up about, I don't know how many millions of percent. but it went up here and we're trading now at about 9.3. The long-term trend for Bitcoin is still intact, but I'm going to give you an indication of where Bitcoin is going to go. Now keep in mind here that we got rejected there once. Well, it's not really a rejection, but that's a high point. Bitcoin tried to break out there, it couldn't. We've had a second attempt there with coronavirus, and we've got a third attempt and a fourth attempt there. Now, so there's 4 times that we have resistance points. Bitcoin broke here with coronavirus below a very important down point. I see here that Bitcoin is going to take a bit of a drop here, just to give you a long-term view. Then it's going to come back up. Now, guys, this is a gift horse. If you can buy the bottom here and you take that move upwards here, you can make so much money. Let's go here and have a look at DigiByte, for example. DigiByte here has been playing this inverted head and shoulders really perfectly. Remember last week, and I'm just going to go here to the 12 hours. Somebody asked me last week during the webinar, we were here, and he said, is there going to be one more push up for DigiByte? And I said, yeah, one more move. And there's that big move. I hope you sold there. And remember, I said last week, without giving you financial advice, it's recommended that you sell on the second push, because we got to that level there. Unless, this is it, guys, unless DigiByte breaks above 0.02, I will not enter, because this is what I see with DigiByte. It's going to go down. And interesting enough, guys, in DigiByte had this blue algorithm pattern worked out long before DigiByte actually did this. And recall back, the blue lines were actually here from the top. I just didn't put it in here, but perfectly. Now, look where DigiByte low point is, almost about there. And this coincides with my theory that Bitcoin is going to drop to 5.8 and then go back up. If it goes down here, that's fine. Everything is then going to go down. Exactly the similar situation now with Bitcoin. If DigiByte goes up here, breaks that point there, and it goes above this to about 35, 33, 35. If it breaks above, let's say this previous high point here, then you can enter. Otherwise, stay out of the market. Don't risk your portfolio without giving financial advice. Let's have a look here at Ethereum. Ethereum is here right at the top there. Now, Ethereum is one of the coins that actually broke out above the resistance line. Ethereum looks really bullish. But I believe if Bitcoin drops, Ethereum is going to drop too. I haven't got much to say about Ethereum apart from the fact that this algorithm line is holding Ethereum down. And I've always said, guys, that if you want to see where the market is going to go, look at Ethereum. Ethereum is going to do the move first. If Ethereum was the first one to break out, I was watching that. Remember last week I said that, have a look at Ethereum. And everybody got so bullish on Ethereum. But as soon as Ethereum started dropping, there, it dropped first and then Bitcoin followed. Or I think Bitcoin dropped first. Ethereum moved up first, but Bitcoin dropped first. And then it moved. You can see here on the 6 hours. And this is what you call a throwback. And it really shows that it will actually break out. That is what it shows. But again, look at Bitcoin. I believe that there's a big probability they're going to drop Bitcoin. Again, what you do, when you come here, you look at Bitcoin. When it breaks out above this channel here of 9.6 and it goes then and breaks 10,000, that's when I will enter. Okay, so there's a probability that we can break out, but there's a larger probability that we are going to break down. And Ethereum shows that. Ethereum is extremely bullish. If you log out or zoom out on, let's say, the daily, I mean, if you take a line, if I put this in now, then all the drawings will come back. But depending on how you're going to draw this line, you know, some technical analysts argue that you should take it from about that point there. But whether you take it from whatever position, you know, you can see that it's just on the verge of breaking out. See there? Right there. It looks extremely bullish. But don't get caught in the hype. Trade conservative. I wouldn't trust that move in Ethereum. It's a strong coin. It's going to go up extremely high. In catapult number 3, that's going to be one of the coins that I am going to ride. And you'll ride that too. Let's go and have a look here at Litecoin. Litecoin is, I've been looking at all these coins here. It's created another channel here, a third channel. And you'll notice that most coins are creating this third channel. Here is the key now with Litecoin. If my analysis is correct that Bitcoin is going to drop, and remember, I've said that Litecoin for some reason hasn't moved in this last few months. It came up here from the bottom here of about 30 to about 49. It's a $20 difference. It's nothing. It should have been 70 by now, or even as high as 81. Litecoin always performed, but in this case it didn't. But my theory is this. See this black line here? I think that we're going to do a very big ABC, meaning there's your A to that high point there. Litecoin is going to drop in July, probably around about here, the $30 level there. And then from this level here, Litecoin is going to go up very quickly. The next round of coins that are going to bounce are the coins that haven't yet bounced. Guys, I'm going to say it again. If my theory is correct that Bitcoin is going to drop now, short-term drop and then go up, because remember, I'm saying it again, Bitcoin drops, it drops lower, and then it comes back up and goes to, man, this new way our trading view is doing these things are just so silly. Anyway, remember we get a drop and then we go back up here to this level. So it's a drop and then it comes back up here. During this low point here, the coins that haven't yet moved, which are Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, XRP, they are going to skyrocket. And the coins that have already moved now, like ZIL and Theta, won't move. Okay, but we're going to get into that at some point. Don't worry too much. We're working on that for you. So let's go back to Litecoin. You can see that Litecoin hasn't moved much. Now, when Litecoin eventually, in my opinion, drops here, it's going to be one of the first coins to start turning around. And then it could make a staggering move. Keep that in the back of your mind. That is what could happen. Let's go and have a look at BSV. BSV, we've always said just be very cautious with BSV, but I do believe that BSV can come down to about this level here. I think we had it at about one, let me see where all these things are. So it could come down to about 119, just touching 119. And then I will buy BSV here, because it's potentially just going to do this and go up to this target here. The only time I would buy BSV is on this drop, not yet. And then you just simply ride it up, because BSV will make a big move. And then again, guys, look at what I'm seeing here. For all those that have done the training courses now, watch the videos, you understand now all these indicators. There's your A, your B, your C. That is what I'm looking at in all coins. A bit of a change of direction, simply because Bitcoin went up above those indicators that we spoke about, then came down. And because of that downwards trend, we believe we're going to go down. And if I look at the world stock markets, what's happening there? Okay, let's have a look here at Bitcoin Cash. Similar to this of, let's say, Litecoin, you could potentially see a downwards move here of about approximately 180, and then Bitcoin Cash comes up and makes 60%. This target here that we initially had, I just don't believe that can happen. Let's not rule it out, because remember what I said, Bitcoin can go to 9.6. If it breaks above 9.6, we wait. Because remember, I'm suggesting that we sell. We go above 9.6, and then when it breaks above 10, then my theory is out. Then Bitcoin will break up. Let's go and have a look at XRP. XRP should have made this move up. Remember, we've been waiting for the second spike. The first spike happened, but we see, oh, there it is. See this one here where we said there should be a second spike. That spike, all that happens, guys, is that I believe that this spike just moves on. It's not that it's not going to happen, but we are going to get an A, a B, and a C. Now remember what I said, that the coins that haven't moved are the coins that are going to move first. Look at XRP. XRP hasn't made a big move yet. And XRP has been the first one to drop right down to this bottom here. It's going to drop a little bit further. And right at this bottom point here, we could see XRP maybe just drop and consolidate for July and then start making a big move up. Now, here is the key. If you can simply just hold XRP. You don't need to sell, or you can sell 30%, 50, 70%. Because it's dropped so far now, if you still hold XRP, like in my case, you know, I still hold a bunch of XRP. I've sold, I don't know what percentage, but I'll come back in the bottom and take that XRP, just buy it and just ride it up again. One of the reasons why we are only selling 70%, maybe 80%, is what I explained here with Bitcoin. What if Bitcoin breaks out upwards? So we want to take advantage of that. Because you can always get out. If you see there's a drop coming and you've only got 30%, you can always get out there somewhere. Okay, let's go. But remember, guys, not financial advice, please. I'm just saying what we would do. I actually don't want to talk and say that's what you should do. I'm just saying this is what an investor should do. What you should do is to do the training courses, get into the chat channels and ask your questions there, you know. And you can't ask the, you know, our guys that make the videos like Craig Van Zyl and all those guys, you know. Just be careful, you guys. We all want to protect the crypto community. With regard to OMG, I'm starting to change my thinking on OMG. Remember we said that we are waiting for this one last move here, that one last move up here. It's still going to happen, don't worry. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to go down and then up. Okay? So this will be your number 6, and that's your number 7. But we've got a bit of a delay here. And remember, time expansion, we can't do anything about it, but I can come and warn you. Now look what I'm seeing here. I'm on the day chart here now. Look at that brown line. I believe it could go like this, the green line like that. It'll be a little bit quicker than that, but there is your exit point. Now you don't want to exit here because at that point, you know, OMG may be there. So you want to do it in advance. Okay, so you get the picture. So to play OMG, if you are in OMG, you look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to show that it's going to make one more move. OMG may make it as well. One more move, a little mini move, a great point to exit. Link has just done the inverse of what we thought. Remember we had this blue line here, and eventually we said it's going to hit the target of 4.8. So it's actually hit that target now, 4.8. So we can actually remove this blue line. I believe that's a high point for Link. However, keep in mind, Link is one of the coins that potentially just could do this and don't drop very low and go back up again. We will work with that. We will work with that as we go. It doesn't drop as quick as other coins, although have a look here at coronavirus. As a matter of fact, look at this, guys. I'm just looking at this now. If you take, let's say if the coins are there, we could have a move like this. That's actually interesting that, can you see here that it actually drops a little bit lower, then goes up and then drops, you know, there. Anyway, so this one did the same actually. It dropped, and it went up. So it could drop, go up, and then comes the big drop. So the big drop that I'm talking about is later on, yeah, August, September. Let's just go through EOS. Look, we can go through coin by coin by coin. It's actually irrelevant, really. You know, I don't think we need to go through all of them. What we need to look at here, your eyes should only be on Bitcoin. In all honesty, let me just get that. Your eyes should be on Bitcoin. Because what Bitcoin does, you go and follow that in your cryptocurrency that you own. Bill, does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say, Mario, simplify it. Don't make it any harder than it has to be. The big trend is with Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is
Exactly.
up, you know, you sell a portion of your portfolio and whatever altcoins you want to cash out in, when follow it down, you buy Bitcoin back when it's down and follow those altcoins down with it, and you buy back at that same time. I don't follow anything really beside Bitcoin, because that's the Bitcoin I trade. So that's the one I look at.
There you go, guys. Make things very simple and uncomplicated. Keep an eye on where Bitcoin is right now. So this is what I do. I save myself a lot of time. Remember that I'm in Dash. Let's go and have a look at Dash. I want to get out of Dash because I bought Dash. Yes, let me think now. I can't even remember. I think I bought it there at about 78 and even bought at 80, like I said last week, because I thought this is going to break out. All indicators pointed that that this looks to break out, but I also didn't follow my rule. You know, I should have waited for the Bollinger Band to move upwards, and then when the Bollinger Band is up, then I buy. But luckily, you know, this is the thing, I ladder in my buys. So I would take 10,000 and I would buy $1,000 worth of Dash. And I waited and I bought $500 maybe. I'm not giving you the real figures, I'm just saying what I bought. You can do it with 1,000, you can buy 100, 50, 100. But the point is I bought about 10% here. Now, because I laddered in my buys and I wasn't greedy, I didn't go and spend the entire portfolio to buy Dash. I lathered in. Then I realized, but wait a second, this thing went up and is dropping and is going sideways, and then came this drop. And as soon as it dropped there below the Bollinger Band, I sold a little percentage of it. Now I still own a bit of Dash. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to wait. I'm expecting Bitcoin to go up, so Dash should go up at least to about 76. If I sell here at 76 and I bought at 80, I'm not in that much of a loss, because now, if my theory is now correct, that Dash is going to come down, and it's going to come down, in our opinion, to round about this level here of about 50. If I buy Dash there, then I just ride it back up again, and then you make money. So to make things uncomplicated, instead of sitting here and watching Dash the whole time, I'm just watching one coin, and I'm just watching Bitcoin. Because most coins at this moment in the next week is going to follow what Bitcoin does. So I'm looking at this move here. I want to see that sideways move up, and then I'm waiting for that one spike. And believe me, when that one spike happens, it could be that people get so bullish that they all just want to buy. So be very careful there. So I'm actually done with the presentation, Tertius. I don't know if we can go through some questions here.
Yeah, we've got Mark. Mark, just unmute yourself.
Okay, hello, Marius. Once again, Mark from Texas. Great, as always, on the webinar. Two quick questions for you. I believe you answered it earlier with watching close through this weekend. You think if any of the move is going to happen on Bitcoin, it's going to happen over the weekend or into Monday here in the US. And then just double checking your green line, your moving average. Is it exponential, and are you using the term of 50-day? Thank you.
The move here is potentially going to happen. I believe that over the weekend that we could go sideways here over the weekend, so Saturday and Sunday, and come Monday or Tuesday, I don't know the exact date, but somewhere next week, is that we're going to have one more push upwards here. And have a look at this, Mark, similar to what you've seen here. Let's imagine that we are there now. right at that candle there now. So you look at a few days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, about 7 days. And then look what happened here. One big push upwards there, and then the drop. I'm expecting a similar move here, but a little bit shorter. So imagine that little candle there is that candle there now. So you would have another candle, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe up till Monday or Tuesday next week. And then out of the blue, just out of nowhere, just one move, bang, upwards. It's going to catch everybody off guard. That move will be very quick. You know, in 4 hours, 6 hours, we'll just move like what all these candles did. And then the next candle will be a red candle similar to that. And then another red candle. And then it's going to go sideways. And then suddenly, if you go and put this black line here on the bottom, make sure that you touch it on that one there and that one there on the daily. When it breaks here below this line here, if it just has a hint of breaking down, it's going to do this. You've seen how quick Bitcoin drops. You know, it gets a vibration and the red candle gets bigger. I think we can actually, what's nice, you can actually go and use this replay. Let's see if we can say, and then we say play. Can you see there what Bitcoin did? So you just go to replay and.
Yep, I see it.
Yeah. It's actually a nice feature if you want to, if there's somebody that wants to make some videos, you know. So now let's just move that and you can see the entire play there. All the sideways action. See how quick at the red candle. The red candles move very quick and it drops really quickly. Let's quickly get into that question there. What I use here, guys, this one here, you can use whatever you want. I like to use the moving average cross between the 50 and the 200. Your 50 is the top one, your 200 is the bottom. I've just turned the 200 off. You can use the 50 moving average as well if you want. See there, I've just turned that on and there's my 200. Now what's interesting actually is that this could, if Bitcoin drops here and it drops here below that 200, it's going to go a lot further. Then what you can also do, you can go and put the 600 moving average on. The 600 is about somewhere there. So it's going to have resistance there, or support rather. We'll break through that and then do that and then drop again. So yeah, Mark, we use, that is what I use. You can, when you go through the training, when you watch the videos, you'll get a clear indication of what you can use. I just use this because it's easy for me and I don't want to complicate things for people watching videos. We've got people from all around the world and sometimes people are in France and they don't understand English really well. So just to make things uncomplicated, you know, we started with a Bollinger Band, we started with a 50. I want to keep it like that and not change it now, because if people go back and watch 3 weeks ago videos, we want them to see the same information. But in real terms, Mark, instead of using the Bollinger Band here, you can use the 20 moving average as well. So it's called the 20 moving average, or you can use the Bollinger Band. I just like to use the Bollinger Band because when I get here, I can go and put the upper and lower limits on. So I can see where's the upper limit. This means that the maximum high point where Bitcoin could potentially go if you trade now from a day trading perspective, more long-term trade. But many of you are day traders and they're making a heck of a lot of money. But it just means that the highest point here could be about 9.8 before it gets rejected and then comes down. Look at here, for example, there it broke above the Bollinger Band. Here it's below that. So the Bollinger is below that as well. The Bollinger Band is a average indicator of the high and the low. And here you can see a drop below the Bollinger Band. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a training exercise, but yeah, Mark, great question. I think Boris.
Boris is next. Yeah.
So Boris, here, just take as much time as
Thank
you need.
you. Yeah, thank you, Marius. Appreciate it. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
So just, well, first question is on expected move up. You're still looking for that 10,600? I'm sorry. well, first we have to break through 9600, you said, but then you had 10,600 and into 11. Is that still on your list, or this is now off the table? I'm confused.
Yes, Boris, short term it's off. Because what has happened over this period now, remember report number 205, we said that if it breaks above the Bollinger Band and the 50, and then if it comes back down again, that is off. But 10.4, 11.4, it's not totally off, because all we're going to have here, I believe, is just a divergence. So we come down here, drop here, then go back up. And here, Boris, that is where we're going to do that inverted head and shoulders again. And then we're going to drop.
Okay.
Now, I know
I'm also, yeah, sorry.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to show you something else here, Boris, which you are probably aware of. Remember, guys, we've already had the inverted head and shoulders. I forgot to mention that. Remember last week, in last week's webinar, I said it could be that the inverted head and shoulders is already in. Now, remember, we predicted this way in advance. Look at this. If that is your high point here, there is your left shoulder. Look at this, Boris. Look there, guys. There's your inverted head and shoulders, complete. And what happens after that? We said after that, there comes a drop. So this move here that we see now is actually just the right shoulder that is trying to complete. So remember, guys, what I'm saying here is that because this has formed, we're not going to have this move up here. Not now, not now. Because remember, patterns change. And in the past, we've been caught out where they change patterns. Now we have identified that Wall Street, I believe, is just, and what I said in the report yesterday, they've got their hand in the cookie jar. What they want to do, they all are trying to get out here now, and they're going to come back and buy in the bottom here and ride it up again. While everybody in the world thinks that Bitcoin is going to break up to 11.4 and 13,000. I'm just saying here, Boris, that I believe it's not going to happen right now.
Right. No, I totally agree. I mean, I see a bearish pattern developing. You can see a series of lower highs from that 10,386 and then all the way down 10,000 now 96. So the trend is down, and it's going to take something very strong to push it through that trend line. And right now, actually, it's working on daily that candle, and if it closes a hammer, which would be bullish, it has a chance to get back up another $500-600. But then I just don't see how it can break through all the way up to past 10,000 right now. It's just too much pressure on Bitcoin. Yeah, yes. And then what happened yesterday? I mean, they took it down. It was just incredible to watch. I had my trend lines and my resistance points all in place, and honestly, what I had, I put sell stops in. I had 89.50 in place, and it came within $25, I think, of that stop.
Yeah.
So I do have my stop in place just in case it goes against me, but then I'd like to, possibly work on the upside as well. So it's just something that I need to figure out what to do. But thank you for all your reports. It helps a lot.
Yeah, no, thank you, Boris. And Boris mentioned something there very important, guys. 2 words: stop loss. Stop loss. Stop loss. I can't say this more. Remember when you trade, put a stop loss in. Otherwise, you've got the chance to lose a heck of a lot of money, Anyway, let's get to the next question there.
We've got Josiah.
Hello, good evening, Marius. My question is, the short drop we are expecting, how low are we going? I mean, what's the range? What's the price range should we be expecting for the drop we are expecting in the next couple of?
For Bitcoin?
Yes.
Okay, just look at the screen. I'll quickly put it in. I believe your first drop is going to be around about 7.6. The first drop that I believe is going to be 7.6 to maybe about 7.3. Let's just work on that for now. There's going to be another drop lower to about 5.8, 5.4, but let's not work on that. Yeah, let's just work on this for now. Because what you can do, you can actually come down here on the bottom and you can buy at 7.3, and there's a probability that we could sell at about 8. So you buy here on the low, you ride it up, sell 8, and then you're out. Remember, guys, there's, like I said in the beginning, you can make all these trades, but there's another trade that you can do, and that trade is not trading at all. Does that answer your question, Joshua?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Let's go to Samuel.
Samuel?
Yes, hello, Marius. Just a quick question more about what you think about the elections, because the day after Donald Trump got elected, I already had this hypothesis that shortly before the next election day in 2020, I assumed that the markets could really drop hard to get him out. So I find it very interesting that you have the same theory here. Just what my question is, does it matter, in your opinion, whether Trump gets reelected or Joe Biden or whoever the candidate will be, or like for the continuation of how the markets will develop, be it the stock markets or the crypto markets, or does it actually not really matter?
Ooh, Samuel, I need to be careful answering that one. Our members consist of Democrats and Republicans, and I don't want to offend anybody here, just to be honest. But in all honesty, guys, it does really matter if Donald Trump gets elected. And I'm saying this with a really clear, precise wording. It does matter. And I don't want to say what I believe is going to happen and what we see in data here, but let's move on to that question. I think, Samuel, we rather leave that, you know.
We've got Peter up next. Peter, oh, there you go. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yep, go
Yes,
ahead,
we can.
Peter.
Hello, Marius. Hello, everyone. First, thank you for all. Just a short question regarding DeFi projects. I believe out there we have few really quality DeFi projects. And my question is, do you pay any special attention to those projects and coins, or not really? And if yes, can you maybe share with us your opinion about it? I will just mention two, let's say Unibright and Energy Web token.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you for your question there. DeFi coins, we definitely look at that, and those coins were the talk of the last, let's say, 2 months. There's coins that spiked 230%, 1,000%. I don't know, Alex, if you've got a little bit more information on there. We've got Alex here as well. If you have information, come and just chat about it. Otherwise, we can just move on.
No, move on. I just want to say I've also looked into that, but yeah, for now I don't have so much information about it, but I'm looking into it.
Yeah, it's not something that we as analysts really look at. You know, we try and be conservative and play with the coins that we know. But as I say, the DeFi coins did move. I don't believe that's going to be the talk of the next 2 or 3 months, but we're still going to look into that. But thank you. Thank you for your question there.
We got Harry. Go ahead and unmute yourself. There you go, Harry.
Yeah, g'day, Marius. Really love your work, mate. I've got a question in regards to the next drop coming up, mate. How long you reckon it's gonna take? Like till middle of July? And second question is, how about the FTX exchange? Because most of the bull and bear tokens are traded over there. So is that the safe enough FTX exchange, mate? Thanks.
Yeah, the FTX exchange, just be really careful with that, but I haven't heard anything bad about it. One other thing quickly, guys, before I forget, let's quickly have a look at this bull coin. Remember, we recommended that we buy bull 3 times. Be very careful here, and I think I did put it in the report. When this goes up here and you make your 10% back again or 14%, get out of bull because it's going to drop here, and at that drop, that's where we get back in again. This move here, I don't think is going to happen. Remember, we had a move here that said it's going to break out there, come back, and then go up here. Now, we're canceling that, as I said in the report, so just be careful. Always, when you make 10, 20, 30%, take your profit. You know, like I think we recommended it somewhere, I think on the bottom here, and it's gone up to that high point there. So if you haven't sold on the high point, just wait for it just to go back up and get out of this coin if Bitcoin drops as well. Okay, so your question, the other question was the timeline. Remember, we're back to the 31 day cycle. The next target point here is going to be August here, and we're going to run this into September. So I just drew this a little bit larger than what it actually should be. But in real terms, to give you an idea of what I see here. And remember, many times when we do this, they're not 100% accurate in date and time because it's impossible these days to work out a cycle date. You will find that the biggest analysts in the world that call themselves cycle analysts are completely wrong. You know, they've never been so wrong. It's not that they are really wrong. It's just that they don't understand the manipulation, the time expansion, you know, that we have identified years ago that has happened. And since then, we've discovered that there's time patterns that they put in, like what you see here now. This is it's time expansion. So we look at 60 days. Now remember, this is not news for you if you have been a subscriber for the last year, because I've always said, I said that when we go sideways, expect that they're going to put patterns in between where they simply spread time out. How they do it is still something that we're trying to discover, but they definitely do it. We've caught them now multiple times. This could be another one of them. I'm trying to warn you in advance. Now, if you look at the timeline now, we believe that here by 1 July, somewhere around there, next week, that this is going to start dropping. It does that, and then it drops again for the whole month of July. It consolidates here on the bottom, and then what you have, or what we should have, is a violent 5-wave up. It does that. And then it goes up here to the high point of September. It does another thing there. It goes sideways again, similar to what you see here. Go sideways there. And from there onwards, I'll present another report at that point. And remember, guys, this is what I'm just presenting to you a very big probability here. If it changes, I'll come back next week and warn you. But what we're going to look now for this week, just to make it very clear, I want everybody just to understand this very, very clear. We're not brain surgeons, and we shouldn't make things difficult here. What we look at here is this. I want to see this pattern, and then I want to see one last move. If this does not break out upwards and it turns down, then that's your warning sign. Rather get out. You don't want to risk your capital for maybe making 5, 10, 20%, because the downside is you could lose 40, 50%. The only time that I will enter is if Bitcoin breaks $10,000. That's the only time. I'm not going to enter. I'm sitting out in the market. When I sit out, the market can't hit me. The market can do whatever it wants. My capital is protected. Also keep in mind that this market can do this. Instead of breaking up there, it can come down and then break down. So you need to be very careful what you do now in the next 3 to 7 days. What I really want to see, I want to see that push upwards here to 9620. Okay, so let's get to the next question there.
Abigail?
Hi, Marius. Would you please address TRX? Thank you.
Yeah, Tron is actually one of my favorite coins at this moment, and it's starting to become a really good favorite. we did some work on it yesterday, and you can see I'm on the daily or the 7-day chart, a week chart. Let me just go and put this back on the daily maybe. I'll just quickly run through this. Tron has come up here to this point here. We were expecting Tron, like remember we expected all coins to break upwards because we said it should break up to that level there. Instead, what I believe is that Tron is going to come down to this point here in B and then go back up. So remember guys, the high points are not cancelled. We're just taking a detour. That's actually the right word. It goes up, comes down, and then we're going to hit that. But this is more profit for us. Because if you can get out here and just buy back here on the bottom here, where that B is, and then you just ride it back up to that target there. This is just a time expansion, because remember, they can't go sideways. It screams manipulation. So they have to do something. What they're going to do, I believe, Wall Street, they're going to drop this and then ride it up again. And guess what? When this drops, what happens? People won't buy back. But if we know that this could potentially happen, we get out now and we buy here on the bottom. When nobody will buy, because nobody buys the drop. We buy the drop, we sell the spike. So I hope that makes sense for you. Does that, Abigail? And then Abigail, remember this for TRX, have a look and see where Bitcoin is. We keep an eye on Bitcoin, make it very, very easy. Let's get to the next question. I'm going to try and get through all these questions as quick as possible.
Jacques? Last one.
Jacques, go ahead.
Unmute yourself, Jacques. There we go.
Yeah. Hi, Marius. Thanks for your great work. Much appreciated. I wonder if you could talk a bit about Theta and the idea of having a guardian node, if you have any thoughts on this.
Yeah, the Guardian node, I don't know much about that. I've heard about people talking about it, but let's quickly get into Theta. Theta is a really great indicator of what is happening here, guys. You don't want to be in Theta now. Remember this, we said that when this drops here, man, this Siri, when this drops here, the green line is going to go like this. And what you want to do, you want to be out. Now look at this, you know, the point where you should have got out was probably there, but you can still get out. I just don't see this moving up. You know, Theta could drop probably around about there, bounce back up again. I would just be very careful with Theta. But again, guys, I'm going to look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin breaks above 9.6, then it means that Theta can potentially go up. We are currently not in Theta because remember we said that at this point here, 0.39, we get out. At that point, we said sell the spike. So if you are still in Theta, I can't tell you what to do because otherwise we give financial advice, but I can tell you what our analysts have done. Our analysts are not in Theta. Because look at this, you know, this has gone up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, a big extended 7th leg. Now that can also be construed as maybe just a very large A, B, C, with that being a little bit higher. What you really want to do is to come back here on the bottom and then ride that wave up because that could potentially make some significant gains. Let's just have a look. We don't know this target yet of the low, but as soon as we know that Bitcoin drops, then we'll come back with the targets. But you can potentially make it should go higher than that, and you look at another, well, anyway, a minimum 200-250% gain. If we are correct, again, we're going to look at Bitcoin. If Bitcoin does the sideways move again, guys, if it breaks out above 9.6, then we only buy a 10. Then it means all coins will go up. Then my analysis here is wrong. I hope it's not. I hope we are correct. But there's, as Boris also said, you know, there's so much momentum here. There's the inverted head and shoulders I was looking for. Now, don't get me wrong, guys. The inverted head and shoulders, what does it do? It breaks out upwards. 96%, I think, of the cases. It does this, and then it breaks, and you have a massive breakout. It's scary, guys. I don't know if you guys appreciate it, but it's really scary to come here and tell you guys that Bitcoin is not going to do what it's supposed to do, like all the analysts say it is. And then I say it's going to come down, and you know, you have to have nerves. I've still got all my nails, but it's a difficult task to do this. So we're trying to give you the option to protect your capital. Okay, let's get
Marius.
to, yes.
That was the last question. I've got a quick one for you. Are the algorithms pointing to any disruptions in the major disruptions in the financial markets before September?
Let's just have a look. Are you talking about the Dow Jones and?
Yeah, pretty much the banking sector, the financial sector.
Bill, let me just answer it that way. I don't know what's going to cause this big drop here.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see the market turning back upwards again. So something happens, but the problem gets solved. I don't know what it is. Whether it is the what did we say last time? I'm just trying to get what was that? I think I haven't got it. Yeah, we just need to talk about the oil as well. I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill, I don't really know what causes that drop. It could be a short-term drop in financial markets, but just remember that the entire Europe gets into trouble. They start then buying US dollar. Like you can see there's US dollar now moving into.
Right.
People are moving it over into US dollar. There is something that's going to happen. I don't exactly know what it is. What have you heard, Bill?
Not really much happening until September-ish. That September, October, November window, closer to the election, is when I've heard things start to pop off. But we kind of just go sideways July and August, pretty much.
Yep. Okay.
Range bound to a certain extent.
Yeah. So guys, yeah. So I believe that we're going to have a drop. We're going to go up sideways. Then comes a bigger drop. So just be careful of this. Was there any other questions? I don't think there was. Or I see there's a few more people under.
Well, we did get one more. Avika,
Oh, okay.
go ahead and unmute yourself.
There
Hi.
we go.
There you go.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. Hi, Marius. This is a question. It's unrelated to any of the specific coins you mentioned, but it's more like in case of a big crash or a market drop, what's your opinion about which stable coins would you recommend, or do you have any opinion if it would affect like USDT, the Tether, or any other ones in case of big liquidations, and trouble there, because some of them had reported some manipulations, and stuff like that. So do you have an opinion about stable coins, a recommendation on that in case when you need to get out of the market for a while and re-enter again, something that would not be affected,
Yeah, I can answer that. So I don't know if you're a new member, but we have that question basically every week on the webinar. So and the standard answer is USDT. USD Tether has the biggest liquidity and the biggest volume right now. So that's a really popular stable coin. And regardless all the bad news around Tether, it's for me the best choice of a stable coin. It depends also in which country you are living, because I think there are some problems in some countries with USDT where you have to choose another stable coin than USDT. But in general, we recommend to be in USDT Tether.
Okay, thanks a lot. I'm a new member since last month, so I haven't heard this question so far, but thanks a lot. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, that's good. And if you are a new member, what we recommend is that you just go back into your members area, go and watch the last 2 or 3 videos of the webinars, and just get up to speed with where Bitcoin is going to go. Bill, is that the end of it, or?
There was one last question from James, Morris.
Cool.
Yeah, and I would like to
Marius.
say something after James.
Hello, everybody. Just a quick one, Marius, on PPT. I'm assuming to do the same as everything else and just follow Bitcoin. I'm pretty sure the major spikes happened already in PPT.
I just haven't got PPT up here, but yes, exactly. I believe that PPT could have gone to a high point there, and expect a bit of a downtrend here. It will coincide with Bitcoin. And remember, Bitcoin will coincide with the world stock markets. So we really need to keep an eye on the Dow Jones. I believe they're going to drop the Dow Jones here, so that Warren Buffett and his little crew can go and buy Amazon at a low price and Facebook and whatever, So that will coincide with what we said with regard to PPT. Just quickly, I forgot to talk about this here. This gap in the oil is actually just bothering me a little bit. Remember, I said last week that for some reason, the oil must go up, to do that move upwards here. And it still hasn't closed that gap here. See this gap there? So it normally would go up here up till about there. And for some reason, unless we're going to come down here slightly, and then it goes back up and closes that gap and then comes down. So this is still the one thing that is bothering me. You can see here that the Brent crude is actually a bit of a worry. I was hoping that that gap would have been filled by now. So we sit with two issues here. The gaps in gold, well, gold as well, but the gaps in oil hasn't been filled. And there is, in multiple coins, altcoins, there's one more last spike left. So it's a weird situation that we are in. Extremely weird. I've never seen this in Bitcoin, ever. You know, it always closes at that fifth leg, the fifth wave. And then oil, for some reason, you know, this should have broken through, close that gap, and then come down. If it doesn't do that, it will be really amazing. Then it just simply means that we could go down in oil probably there, then it's going to come back and close that, unless that's the play. So that is an alternative. What we have discovered here is simply just the fact that we believe that Wall Street could put, I'm just saying Wall Street, with Wall Street, what we mean, guys, is the financial system, okay? Whoever is in there. We shouldn't probably just use the term Wall Street loosely, but it is the people in Wall Street, all the financial systems. I believe they're going to drop the Dow Jones, and when the Dow Jones drop, Bitcoin could potentially drop as well. Okay, so I hope everything has been made clear. I think, Alex, you said you've got one more thing to talk about, or?
Yes, yes. I want to go back to that DeFi topic real quick. A word of caution there, because I think a lot of people think that these DeFi projects are right now the next altcoin boom that we had with all the Ethereum tokens in 2017, where you could just buy almost any Ethereum token and it would give you just crazy gains. Because I saw in a lot of Telegram channels, that is just an example, how people were talking about Compound because it spiked like 300% in 4 days or something, and people were like, when it was already over 300%, oh yeah, now I'm gonna buy it. So I would be really, really careful with getting into these DeFi coins. Me personally, that's why I said we want to see in the next couple of months how these DeFi coins actually perform, and if that's not the next bubble like the altcoins that we had in the past, so that we can actually make a reliable recommendation on it. And another thing, what I think about the drop, what will cause the drop. So I said that already, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago. I think when all the lockdown situation around the world is solved and every country is getting kind of back to normal, I think then it will hit really the economy, because then all business are back operational to the status quo, and then actually they will see what a financial impact that all had.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that. And guys, I just want to mention, I see that Jian Lee is on the call as well from the Academy. Over the next few weeks, starting from 1 July, you're going to hear a lot more about our analyst, Jian Lee. I think you're in China, and we all love the Chinese people, very smart people. So guys, just with this presentation, we're just going to stop it there. What I would recommend, have a look at the blog post, log into your Telegram channel. I am really surprised, guys, I must say this. We've got subscribers that pay every single month, but there's about 2,000 people missing on Telegram. If you're not on Telegram, you don't get the notifications, because when we send emails out, emails are not a good way of communicating anymore. And in 10 years from now, emails probably won't even exist anymore. You need to get notified on social media, and this is why we post it out on Twitter and all over the place. Telegram is the place where you must be. That's where you get the notifications. It's like somebody said to me the other day, they said they didn't get the notification of the that there was a new report, and we went and studied why doesn't he get it. We found that he never even knew about Telegram. In the back office is a link. In every single report, there's the link. Unless you don't read the reports, guys, click on that link. Make sure you're connected with Telegram. It surprises me really, you know, that everybody's not connected on social media. You must get up-to-date data. You can't rely on data from a week old, 2 weeks old. You're going to make wrong decisions. The market is very volatile. And we said this about a year ago. We said when we come to this point, markets will be extremely volatile. And in the report on the heading, it says there too, make sure you read every blog post. Make sure you plug into the system. That's the only way how we can help you. Like for example, here now, over the next weekend, this weekend and over the next few days, we will update the blog. If I see that Bitcoin is going to drop, and our analysts warn me as well, it's not just me, it's a whole group of analysts. We're all working it together. We are bringing you 2.0, more data, better data, because we want to help you. When this happens here, we will warn you. The only way how you will get that warning is if you are connected on social media, Telegram. And on that top there, we will also tell you when the top comes. So guys, thank you very much, and thank you Tertius and Bill for helping. And if you guys ever need one-on-one coaching, Bill is your guy. Okay, so get in touch with us and we'll put you in touch with Bill. As well as look in the back office, a lot of videos there guys, a lot of things to help you. Thank you very much Tertius, have a great evening there for you guys in South Africa. And thank you Bill.
Thanks.
Nolan. Thank you.
Thanks, Marius.
Thanks, Marius.
Okay, awesome.
Awesome Friday.
Thank you, everybody.
Cheers.